boy Mayan here, and today's topic is something I would like to call the age of I. This subject has many meanings, but only one of which I will share today, and that is the double-edged sword of information and ignorance. We live in an age where there is vast amounts of information that is easily accessible at the palm of our hands through the means of the internet, but ironically, we also live in an age where there is vast amounts of information that is ignored. Thus, the age of information, but also the age of ignorance. If you watched my previous social experiment, if you haven't, the link is in the description below, but the data showed that the recent news known to most people was that the celebrity Kylie Jenner had a baby, in comparison to the Mayan megacity discovery, which changes our understanding of history, or the SpaceX reusable rocket launch, which evolves our understanding of rocket technology, Sophia the robot progressing the realism of robotics, or the stock market and cryptocurrency fluctuations affecting the economy. I would like to leave off today with the story of Galileo. So during the time of Galileo, the church and the people believed in the geocentric model of the universe, where the earth was the center of the universe. Galileo, on the other hand, was trying to reintroduce the idea of the heliocentric model, where the sun was the center of the solar system. So the sun is obviously the center of the solar system, so the people and the church should have believed Galileo, right? Instead, Galileo was convicted of heresy and spent the rest of his days under house arrest. Only after 300 years did the church admit that Galileo was right and cleared his name of heresy. So do you want to be the person who predicts who wins the playoffs before the playoffs, or that person who bandwagons the winning team after the playoffs? Almost all great scientific revolutions, whether it be done by Galileo or Albert Einstein, are met with huge backlash initially, not only due to ignorance, but also due to the fact that the nature of reality behaves in a way that is far more mysterious than what was thought to be logical at the time. So, moral of the story is, don't be a follower. Actually, it's more than that, since it wasn't just ignorance that misled the people, but more so the fact that reality doesn't need to fit our subjective worldviews. The world doesn't require us to understand it to exist. Without all this fancy technology to see the bigger picture, if I was a 16th century commoner without access to astrological information, it definitely seems like all the celestial bodies, like the sun, moon, and stars, are revolving around the motionless earth. It's crazy how if we slightly change our interpretation of the exact same information, the world turns its head on itself. Don't believe anyone, whether it be myself, your parents, each other, or even scientific literature, without critically thinking, because what is considered truth or science today can become outdated and untruth in 10 years, as has been repetitively seen in the evolution of what is known as modern science. So the evolution of science teaches us not only to not be a follower, but more so, in order to understand the mysteries of the universe, we must allow ourselves to think outside the box and be open to the possibilities, since, as our friend Mark Twain says, the truth is stranger than fiction. So I know I said I would be covering topics ranging from artificial intelligence, consciousness, ancient history, science, spirituality, and more, and I will, but surprisingly, all these diverse topics are actually interconnected, and a much grander narrative becomes apparent as I reveal more information. So instead of randomly presenting information, I've decided to structure my future content to improve the impact of the story of us, baby gods. Informative video coming next. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back soon, but till then, stay woke, baby gods.